Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And is this Tsunoda cable tie cutter a snap-on killer? Let's take a closer look at it and compare it head to head to the snap-on. This is the 786CF, and this is the Tsunoda, this is the KBN-150. You can see it there. These actually come in a 100, a 125, and a 150. And regardless of which one, you could almost buy 4 pairs of these for 1 pair of these. These are made in Japan. These are made in America. These have a couple of features, including the ability to grab the cable tie with kind of those plier-like jaws, as well as get a flush cut. And these provide a tremendously nice flush cut with great handles in several colors. So let's take a look at them. This is the full-size 6-inch version. It's the closest they had to the snap-on. You also notice there is this kind of unique shape on the top of it. If you put that up onto something, yeah, it does ride up if you set it down that way. However, if you set this down, you'll notice that actually floats just above the surface, so there's less chance you'll damage the tip. Snap-ons do come with a protective cover, plastic cover made in the USA, and the Tsunodas here don't. I wish it did, just for like in the toolbox. But anyway, both of them seem to be very well designed, very nice quality. The finish work, primarily on the cutting edges, seems just about perfect. Let me grab my light so you can watch how these close. So here's the Tsunodas. As I start to close them, try to get it in focus there. Look at that, all the way down. Perfect. And the snap-ons, all the way down. Perfect. So that end is great. Let's try it in actual cutting. So I've got a couple of different sizes of cable ties here, and we'll do a few different tests. First of all, I'm going to use the blue ones here for the Tsunoda and these kind of lime colored ones for the snap-on, so we can keep them straight. So once I just click this in, here's the snap-on. I'm going to flush that right up against it. And I did notice that, you know, both of them tend to send the stuff flying. Get it in there. There we go. Now the angle here is different, you'll notice. The snap-on right away, to me, is a little more natural in the hand. So if I'm going up against something to flush cut it, I'm lining it up like this. This one, I have to come in at an angle. So let's take a look at this cut. Line it right up. Maybe I'll go more towards the center. Make sure the edges are parallel. Okay, here's our quick comparison. A little hard to see on the snap-on one, but both of them seem flawless. What about if I wrap it around something? So I've got 2 16mm snap-on sockets. I don't know what else you do with these except use them as props. I got a 12 and a 6. So I'm going to put one on the 12, or I mean on the 6. I've got the snap-on colored one. Now snap-on doesn't really have a good way to grab anything. Some people, you know, try to slide something up inside here and hold on to it to help pull, but it's kind of gutsy there. You might want to use something else. The Tsunoda, on the other hand, get that started. Get it the right direction here. Has an excellent feature in that I can just quickly grab it with that plier side and pull. And I can even go right up to it and do a little bit of extra leverage if I want, pulling it. So I can get it quite a bit tighter than I can the snap-on. So now let's go ahead and cut them. I'm going to go right to the center of the cutting edges, which is right there. Line that up, press up against it. Okay, and then the snap-on. right in the center. Line it up, press. And let's take a closer look at these guys. Both of them seem near flawless. A little tough to see, but now let's do another test here. What I'm going to do is slide these off and push this through, and let's compare the edges. Snap-on's a little cleaner, just a hair. And I've actually noticed that. I'm going to go ahead and cut this again. If I don't press it tight, you can see there's just a hair sticking up. If I press it tight up against it, I can usually get it trimmed off. The snap-on the other hand, I could just easily slide it on. I don't have to press hard. And it has a nice clean cut. And I think that might be due to, if you look really close, you can actually see the line there. On the snap-on, it's pretty much flat, perfectly flat. Whereas the Tsunoda does have a very slight bump there. So when I cut on the Tsunoda, when it grabs it, you can see there might be just a hair sticking out. Unless you push tight, then it seems to actually work great. Both of these are vastly better than most of the other options on the planet. And one of the reasons I'm making this video is because I think these things are essential. I think having a close-cut cable tie, you're not using a side cutter or something else that leaves, the little bit sticking out that cuts you, or can be kind of a danger. But these are out of reach for a lot of people. So here's another choice, the Tsunoda KBN-150s for the full size, or you can just shrink these down to the 4-inch or a 5-inch. There's about $1 difference between the 4-inch and the 6-inch, with the 5-inch hanging out in the middle. I got these off Amazon. I have several Tsunoda tools. They're excellent quality, very utilitarian, just absolutely beautiful in terms of the finish work for a $20 tool. But this works, as far as I'm concerned, every bit as good as the snap-on. A lot less money. You don't have the tool truck, probably the warranty, but you do have the similar performance. A lot of the kind of the close cut or semi-flush cut, if that's even a thing. I think that's what Klein calls theirs, or not Klein, Knipex calls theirs. But this actually is a full-on flush cut. Very nicely made, nicely finished. And stuff like this takes hand work to get just perfect. So that's why not a lot of companies make these. But there it is, the Tsunoda, and it's a performer. If you don't have one of these, this is a good starting place. With that, Doc out.